His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa visited the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, where His Royal Highness was briefed on the ministry's initiatives, development plans and the newly developed online commercial registration portal Sijillat 3.0. Upon arrival, His Royal Highness was received by the Minister of Industry and Commerce Abdullah Fakhro. His Royal Highness highlighted Bahrain's continued efforts to enhance its economic competitiveness and the investment environment in line with the kingdom's comprehensive development led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness noted the importance of continuing to enhance the quality and efficiency of government services and the electronic systems supporting them to benefit Bahraini citizens. He was then briefed by the Minister on the Ministry's initiatives and development plans, which are on par with the Government Plan, the Economic Recovery Plan, and the Bahrain Economic Vision 2030. Fakhro highlighted the updated made within the newly developed Sijillat 3.0 system, noting its improvement and services aimed at increasing efficiency. The updated system enables business owners and investors to manage their businesses, complete government procedures, and perform services with ease. His Royal Highness affirmed Bahrain's commitment to amplifying its competitiveness through the optimal use of its investment facilities. In this regard, he emphasized the importance of further strengthening public-private partnership to advance cross-sector economic development. His Royal Highness noted the kingdom's commitment to continuously enhance the quality and efficiency of its services to ensure that Bahrain remains a global business hub capable of serving global and regional economies across a wide range of economic prospects. His Royal Highness then met with the team responsible for the completion of the updated Sijillat 3.0 system, commending their efforts in implementing the kingdom's ambitious national plan. For his part, Fakhro expressed gratitude for His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister's visit to the ministry and affirmed that the visit reflects His Royal Highness's commitment and support to the ministry's development initiatives and efforts undertaken to facilitate procedures and transactions that benefit Bahrain. He reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to further its development efforts in line with the kingdom's goals and its far-reaching Economic Vision 2030. Several senior officials were also in attendance. The Representatives Council Speaker Ahmed Limsallam held Bahrain's human rights strides within the competitive development march led by His Majesty the King. The Speaker noted the 2022 EU Human Rights Report, which commended Bahrain's achievements and attributed the strides to the government's efforts, chaired by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He highlighted the steady cooperation with all parliaments to exchange expertise in the human rights field and also shed light on Bahrain's landmark progress in supporting justice and equality and protecting human rights. He affirmed parliamentary support to further developing human rights legislation based on the National Action Charter and the Constitution, Bahrain's long-standing values, national fundamentals and international covenants. He commended the efforts of the National Human Rights Commission, chaired by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdel Latif bin Rashid Zayani, in highlighting Bahrain's strides and reinforcing cooperation with local and international institutions. The Shura Council Chairman Ali Al-Saleh praised Bahrain's human rights achievements, highlighting the kingdom's distinguished status attained thanks to the initiatives and strategic steps launched under the leadership of His Majesty the King. Al-Saleh extended gratitude to His Majesty the King for supporting the consolidation of the principles of human rights in Bahrain, making the kingdom an example of peaceful coexistence. The chairman praised the continuous support that the human rights file enjoys from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, citing His Royal Highness's directives to formulate and implement innovative initiatives and programs to support human rights at all levels. He commended the 2022 EU Human Rights Report, which commended Bahrain's record and cited its key achievements in the field of human rights. He praised the efforts made by the National Human Rights Committee, chaired by the Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdel-Latif bin Rashid al-Zayani, to promote national fundamentals and well-established cultural foundations in the field of human rights. The Minister of Labour Jamil Hamidan stated that the development of the economic, industrial and commercial sectors in Bahrain has contributed to generating more promising opportunities for citizens in the private sector as part of the National Labour Market Plan 2023 to 2026. In this regard, he announced that the health sector had outperformed all sectors in employment rates during the first half of 2023 in Bahrain, affirming that as many as 911 citizens had been employed in various health and medical institutions as a result of the government's efforts in attracting more investments in the health sector. He noted that the government launched several initiatives that have contributed to increasing the employment rate of Bahraini doctors and supporting their professional level, providing incentives to private hospitals and medical centers that achieve a Bahrainization rate of 25% and introducing a program to improve the wages of Bahraini doctors who were previously employed in the private sector. The Minister of Social Development, Osama Al-Asfour, chaired the second meeting of the National Committee for the Child in the presence of a number of committee members from representatives of government and private agencies. Al-Asfour affirmed the Commission's important role in the development of children in the educational, cultural and psychological sectors through the implementation of a national strategy to enhance programs and projects that serve and protect children's rights. He commended the outstanding efforts made by the members of the Commission in consolidating the principles of cooperation between various government agencies and civil institutions, which contributed to the sector's growth and achievement. The Minister of Tourism, Fatma Sayrafi, chaired the board meeting of the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibition Authority, BTEA, in the presence of BTEA CEO Dr. Nasser Al-Qaidi. The Minister stressed progress in achieving the goals set in the 2022 to 2026 tourism strategy and expressed confidence in boosting tourism investments. The panel reviewed the latest main tourism indicators for the period January to June 2023, which showed remarkable improvement on a quarterly and annual basis as the number of tourists soared in terms of nationalities, types of trips, and means of transportation. Dr. Al-Qaidi gave an update about tourism projects and highlighted the improving rate of hotel occupancy during the first 6 months of this year. The meeting also discussed opportunities to enhance cooperation with Gulf Air. The Minister of Information, Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah al-Naimi, met with the affiliates of the 5th intake of the National Leadership Program, Hypo Youth, organized by the Bahrain Institute of Public Administration, BIPA, in cooperation with the Youth Affairs Ministry and Injaz Bahrain. The Minister affirmed that Bahraini youth's participation in national programs and initiatives that would provide them with the necessary advanced skills and meet with the current and future trends reflects His Majesty the King's national vision. He said that it also reflects His Majesty's belief that Bahraini youth are capable of achieving the Kingdom's aspirations and contributing to its sustainable progress. BIPA Director General Dr. Sheikh Rana bint Isa Al Khalifa asserted that the cumulative experiences of national leaders are the main reference for the development of Bahraini youth. The National Health Regulatory Authority revealed a visit to a group of investors to open factories to produce medical supplies needed by laboratories and hospitals. More in this report.
In order to achieve the objectives of the Drug Security Plan, the National Health Regulatory Authority held discussions with a group of investors to open factories specialized in medicine, which would contribute to strengthening the health infrastructure in the Kingdom of Bahrain. The Kingdom is keen to apply and keep pace with international standards related to the pharmaceutical industry, the most prominent of which is the factory for the production of nutritional supplements, Bahrain Pharma, and the Gulf Biotechnology Factory, which is the first site for the manufacture of injection drugs in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and they are currently in the first production phase. The product is examined and then approved by the National Authority for Regulating Health Professions and Services. The authority is always keen to ensure that factories meet conditions related to security, safety, and quality in accordance with international standards.
The Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Works, Engineer Sheikh Mish'al bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, stated that 19 tenders were awarded during July for a number of projects in various sectors by the Bahrain Tender Board. The total tender cost is over 28 million Bahraini dinars. A tender was also issued for 16 of the ministry's projects for the roads and sanitation sectors, as well as construction and maintenance projects with an estimated cost of over 20 million Bahraini dinars. The Under-Secretary of Works stated that the awarded projects come within the ministry's action plan to implement the government's infrastructure development program and provide services that meet the aspirations and needs of citizens and contribute to supporting the national economy. The Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture, Sheikh Mohammed bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, inspected the afforestation project in Muharraq Governorate. The Under-Secretary praised Muharraq Municipality's achievements in afforestation by planting over 13,000 trees in the governorate from the beginning of the year 2023 until now, noting that the municipality planted 24,000 trees in 2022 with a total of 37,000 trees so far. The Under-Secretary said that the ministry continues to contribute to the national afforestation strategy and sustainable development goal in Bahrain. The Labour Market Regulatory Authority LMRA conducted 2 joint inspection campaigns in the capital governorate and the Muharraq governorate on a number of shops and work sites. The campaigns resulted in reporting violations related to the labour market and residency laws. The cases were referred for legal action. The LMRA noted that a joint inspection campaign was conducted in the capital governorate in coordination with the Sentence Enforcement Department. The other inspection campaign was undertaken in the Muharraq governorate in coordination with the Nationality, Passports and Residence Affairs. The authority renewed its call on all members of the society to support the efforts of the government agencies in addressing illegal labor practices by reporting violations. The Arab Parliament Speaker and Board of Trustees Chairman of the Arab Observatory for Human Rights, Adil Al-Assoumi, praised the 2022 EU Human Rights Reports, which commended Bahrain's human rights record and cited its key achievements in this field. He expressed pride in the kingdom's experience in various human rights fields and its firm approach led by His Majesty the King, who has given a top priority to the human rights file, which enhanced Bahrain's record in this field. He asserted that the kingdom's numerous human rights achievements prove that Bahrain has established itself as a role model for human rights, respect, peaceful coexistence and tolerance among the various groups of society.